All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the SLCP meetup this afternoon. Today, our topic is indoor spaces. We have two guest speakers who are going to be talking about indoor spaces and the efforts that they have taken to improve the indoor spaces for their library staff and community. So we're going to start with Stephanie Harrison. She's the director at the Patterson Library in New York. Stephanie, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and welcome, and we're excited to hear what you have to share.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'll just kind of go through the required and recommended actions, and just briefly talk about each one. But first, I just want to say indoor spaces were, I felt like it was one of the easier ones. So I feel like, it was easy for us. So I don't know if I'll have a lot of like special advice, but certainly I'll tell you how we were able to complete everything in here. So our indoor air quality plan, that's the first item. Like many libraries, we borrow from other libraries, but when we create policies here, we always try to adopt something that is meaningful to us. So our indoor air quality plan, it is something that we felt like we could achieve. It wasn't outside of what we were already doing in particular. And then our cleaning product protocols, the second required action. I'm lucky to have a facility manager who's worked sort of in facilities and in cleaning for most of his professional life. And so he's very well versed in cleaning products, and he himself doesn't want to use something that is unsafe for him. So when we came up with our protocol, it was stuff that was safe to use, safe for him to use, and safe for the public, but also would clean the building safely and effectively, kill germs and that sort of thing. Replacing aerosols, we don't use aerosols, so that was easy for us. We happen to have someone on staff who's very sensitive to aerosols. So again, pre the sustainability initiative, we weren't using aerosols because it gave her allergic reactions. So again, easy for us to achieve. Like most libraries, I don't think anyone prohibits or allows smoking in the building. So again, easy for us to say we did. And then with the recommended actions, so what we had done, what we submitted was workstations with daylight view. So again, we're sort of lucky that the way our building is set up, I don't know if you can see behind me, I have a window, I have two windows in my office. Many of the spaces, most of the spaces in the library have windows. Now we do have a few interior offices, and they have interior windows that kind of can access the outdoor light. They don't specifically look to the outdoors, but the outdoor light filters in, so they can see outside. And again, one of my employees, she's very particular about that. So she won't let anyone park in front of a window because she has one of those interior offices with the window that just kind of looks out into the hallway. And so she needs that for herself. It's important. That's why it's on here, right? So she takes a cone and she blocks it so no one can park there. We have enough parking, so it doesn't affect it. So that's how we've achieved that. And again, because we have so many windows, they do open, and so we're able to get ventilation. And that was another of the recommended items we were able to submit for. Indoor plants, probably a lot of you on staff, and have people who are passionate about plants, and I luckily have someone like that as well. So it's my head of circulation. She has a ton of plants in her office, so she has graciously gifted me over time plants. We've added plants to our adult circulation area. We have a little what we call a cafe, so often we'll put fresh flowers in there or plants just to help brighten up the space. So that's how we were able to submit for that action. Last year, we offered staff a CSA share, so the access to fresh fruits and vegetables. We have a greenhouse in town that does a CSA, so we had worked with them to offer it to staff. So 5 of us went in on it, and we split 2 shares, and it was way more than any of us could eat. But it was nice, and the staff appreciated it. And we would often have leftovers, so we'd leave it out for the staff who weren't participating, and they enjoyed that. The flexible workstations, I had used on this recommended action. There was a link to a flexible workstation, so I had sent that around to my staff and asked if anyone wanted to, have that in their office. And one person took me up on it, so she has it, and she likes it. It sits on her desk. It moves up and down. So when she wants to sit, she sits, and when she wants to stand up, she stands up. And it was easy to install, and it's easy for her to use. So, and then the last one we did in this section was the sustainable building rating system. So we actually are we're working on a renovation right now, and so when we work with our architects to design things, we make sure that they take into account anything that can be sustainable for us. And we get New York State construction grants, and our system looks for sustainability when awarding the grant, so it's important to them. So our architects are cognizant of that, so they make sure when they're designing stuff for us that it's sustainable. So it was a lot. It was a quick overview. I don't know if anyone has any questions or any thoughts about what I said, but that we still, we're making a lot of progress on the action items, but this is one we were definitely able to do, and hopefully everyone else can achieve it as well.
Yeah, like you said, the indoor spaces. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing. Yeah, the indoor spaces section is it's an interesting one. And it's kind of short, but I can see how a lot of members might not have too much trouble completing the different action items in this one. I particularly liked what you mentioned about the CSA share. Kind of partnering with the local farm to do that, or having the staff kind of all chip in to get that, and then leaving the extra for the staff. I feel like yeah, it's great that you usually do end up with more than enough, and it's really great to kind of share that. Something that a lot of libraries maybe could consider doing.
Right.
I'm sure it's very prevalent in a lot of our communities, so that's really cool.
Well, and one other thing I want to add is we are lucky in our library space. We have an outdoor, we call it a park. It's an outdoor green space. We do have a garden in our green space, so it's been a working garden for many years. And we have good years and bad years, like all people who garden. But when we have our bumper crops, we give the produce out to our patrons, and we've also given some to, we partner with a local food pantry. We collect non-perishables for them, so we will give them some vegetables as well. And then separately, the last thing, we have in our area a truck. It's called Meals on Main Street. It's sponsored in part by Cornell Cooperative Extension, and they make our library one of their stops, and they give out free produce and baked goods. They come once a week on a Tuesday morning, and yeah, it's first come, first serve, but they give all that out for free. And it is mostly fruits and vegetables, and like I said, some baked goods that are they still have a shelf life to them. So that's another way we give access to that to our patrons and our staff.
Yeah, that's awesome. The Meals on Main Street, you said, how often do they come? I'm sorry.
They come once a week. They come on Tuesdays, and we've been doing it with them for a year, and they even came in the winter. Their selection was a little bit limited in the winter, but they get donations from grocery stores and from local farms, So it definitely is more abundant in the spring, summer, and fall. But yeah, they came all year, and it's very popular. We have a line that forms before the library opens, before the truck shows up, and it's been really well received.
That's great. That's a really cool program. I like that. And Cornell Cooperative, another favorite. I mean, they're great organization to partner with. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Stephanie? All right. Well, thank you again, and best to you and the library on working towards completing certification. Sounds like you got a lot of great things going on.
All right, thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely, appreciate it. So we're gonna move to our next guest. We have, I'm sorry, Laura, how do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to be rude.
It's just pronounced Plonsky.
Plonsky. Okay, so we have Laura Plonsky, Adult Services Librarian from Avon Lake Public Library in Ohio. Laura, welcome and thank you for sharing with us today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I, like Stephanie, the indoor spaces section is I felt like it was pretty easy to accomplish as well. There are certain things that we're not going to be able to completely take care of, but we are working on it. Starting with the first section about the adopting a healthy indoor air quality plan. We're working with a company on a master facilities plan. So we're trying to incorporate some of these sustainability modules with them, and letting them know what we're doing. So this is something that's going to be ongoing, but we're hoping that they can help us with that as well. As far as adopting the cleaning protocols, and this kind of ties in with the aerosols and pump dispensers as well. We have, from what I understand, quite a substantial stock of product already. And unfortunately, it's going to take us a while, as in years, to get through some of these products. So we'll have to use up what we have, but right now there's not a lot we can do about that. So as those start to dwindle, then of course we'll definitely move over to non-aerosol, non-pump sprays. Stephanie had mentioned that not too many places allow smoking in buildings anymore, so that was a pretty easy module to accomplish. We do have a cleaning service, as I mentioned, so we do work with them, and we discussed not using toxic chemicals or moving over to environmentally friendly products as well. I know we use a lot of recycled paper products, tissues, toilet paper, that sort of thing, paper towels. So we're doing well with that. As far as getting an outside view, access to an outside view or daylight, most of the library is pretty well lit. We have lots of large windows in most of our areas. There's only a few places that don't, but certainly everybody has access to being by a window or some kind of natural light. I also have pictures. If anybody's interested, I can always send you those as well. With the allowing for operable windows for natural ventilation, a lot of our windows don't do that. I was told by the director it's more of a safety thing, so we don't usually allow that. There are certain places, like in the staff room, where we have the kitchen, and that's where people have lunch and all that. Those windows do open. There's some places in some of the bathrooms that open, but a lot of it that's not really feasible. It's mostly for safety. Ceiling fans, we don't have too many of, but we're usually pretty good about natural ventilation or, getting air if we need it. We do in this next module that's talking about indoor plants. We do very well in this area. We have a local history room. A few years ago, we were thinking about what we could do to brighten it up. It has a very large window, so we added a bunch of plants. And we've been adding plants for several years, so we've got quite a collection of plants there. We also, throughout the library, have large plants, they sit on the floor, and they've grown quite a bit, and they're just stationed strategically throughout the library. And we do have someone come in and water them once or twice a week, and patrons love them. That really brightens up the library. As far as getting access to fruits and vegetables, we have a community garden, which we started in 2016. And every year we grow fruits we don't grow fruits necessarily, but vegetables, tomatoes, zucchini, that sort of thing. We offer the food to the staff and patrons, and then any excess food we donate to a community organization for people in need. Every year, we start out in May, and we have a group of kids come in voluntarily. They help us get the garden ready for the season. At the end of the season in October, we shut the garden down, and they learn about closing, how to close the garden. Throughout the summer, we bring in camps, we bring in different other organizations that mostly are oriented toward kids. And we teach them about nutrition, we teach them about the environment, we teach them about just why growing your food is important. And they learn math, they learn science, they learn all kinds of skills like that. So in fact, in June, the month before, we were featured in the Sustainable Libraries Initiative newsletter. And so if you want to go back a month and learn about our garden, we were profiled for that. We do have flexible workstations that people can use if they care to. We do have a variety of options for people to sit and stand at the different workstations. So we've done pretty well with that. And then as far as adopting a biophilic design, I talked with the director, and we have plans. Again, this is long-term, but we have a north entrance and we have a south entrance. And the north entrance isn't used all that much because it's kind of hard to get to, and people just don't think to use it. So what they want to do is they want to connect the north and the south entrance using more environmentally designed plants and seating and that sort of thing, just to make it more inviting for people to use that and follow a path from the south entrance all the way around the building to the north entrance. So I'm sure that'll be very attractive and lend itself well to people enjoying more of the natural environment. So that's basically what we've been doing. Again, we've managed to complete most of the tasks, even the optional ones. And even if you, as I said before, even if you think that this is not something you're going to complete right away, we haven't done that either. So we're just looking at long-term, and we're mentioning the different plans that we have to accomplish that over the next few years.
Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate your sharing with us this afternoon. I like the idea that you have the teen volunteers helping with the garden, and I think it's really great and important how you add that educational aspect to it. That's That's really cool. Did they get volunteer hours for that? You probably mentioned that or not?
They may. We do have a number of schools around us that where the teens get hours for National Honor Society, and there's a couple other organizations that give volunteer hours. But yeah, I'm sure they do. I don't. That's not a component that I work with,
Yeah,
so I can't really speak for sure, but they probably do.
that's cool. Very, very cool. And one thing I was curious about, when you do have like excess left over from the garden, or if and you're giving it out to the patrons, how do you usually facilitate that? Like, is there an area in the library that you set like a basket up with things that they can take, or how do you usually do that?
Well, for the staff, they just put it in the staff room. And then at the end of the season, whatever's left over, they offer, like I said, to the staff. I'm not sure about patrons, but I do know they donate a lot to it's called the Community Resources Services. And yeah, they'll take it over there and allow people to take what they need.
Awesome. That's really great. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything for Laura? I saw Savannah put in the chat how you made a great point about it being ongoing. Sustainability isn't a static state. Very good, great point, Savannah. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you. So, is there anybody else who would like to share about their indoor spaces or the section in general?
Alex, I could share something.
Awesome. Yes, Joanna, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Um, so I'll share something that didn't work and then something that did work. Um, so as we were going through certification, I work in a library system. So it's a building that is not actually open to the public. Um, so as we were going through this process, we tried to do access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And I called a few local farms that do CSA programs to see if we could be a drop-off location. But every single one, it was a no, because we couldn't guarantee enough participation for it to be worth their while to make the stop. So that was, we made a really good effort, but just couldn't make it work. So instead, we have a few staff who have home gardens. So if they just have a lot of something, they'll bring it in. It's not really a formal uh, program. It's just I have too many zucchini, so I'll share them with everyone. Um, so that was something that unfortunately we could not do. Something that is good that happened actually after we became certified. We had a board member who a few months ago just decided to do something really nice for staff, and he remembered that we have a lot of indoor plants now. So he just bought really small indoor plants for everyone. So that's kind of, it shows the cultural shift, and that even the board is involved.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool to kind of have that involvement, and it's also a nice treat for the staff as well. That's really cool. I'm wondering if maybe we should look into the CSA thing here at SCLS. Maybe we have, I don't know, but that could be something cool to think about or to explore.
Mhm.
Anybody else interested in sharing or have any questions about the section or want to talk about anything really, any concerns that are happening, or any questions with the certification program, any sections really? All right. Well, this was very good, and I'm very thankful for everybody that was willing to share today. Stephanie, thank you. Oh, hold on. Are there any example healthy indoor air quality plans from other libraries? Yes. Sorry, Brianna put in the chat. For looking for examples of healthy indoor air quality plans. Um, I can follow up with you, Brianna. Absolutely. We can, definitely. I'm sure we could find some examples from other libraries, and I can shoot you an email after this with some examples to help out. No problem. So yeah, like I was saying, thank you to everyone who shared today. Thank you, Stephanie and Laura and Joanna. Thank you very much. We appreciate your insights and being willing to share with the group. Um, we will be meeting next month, Thursday, August 7th, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about transportation. If anybody's interested in sharing on that topic, feel free to reach out to me, alex@suffolknet.org or sliadmin@suffolknet.org. We hope that everybody has a safe and happy July 4th weekend. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next month. Take care, everyone.